WhoMadeWho is like a hybrid band, so they do all their DJ appearances and massive DJ shows. And then they're super creative, and then now and then we do these specific live tours. We use a lot of time on developing and designing this whole live set. And now here we're in Berlin, we get to bring this live set to here. Previously we played places like Mykonos, we did Istanbul, did a lot of South America. And our whole live set is very different from their DJ appearance. So they have live instruments, they're both singing, playing guitar, bass, drums, while they keep their DJ electronic scene. So audio-wise, it's very interesting to work with because it gives a lot of opportunities. And the band itself, they really bring out some creative ideas, and they're very focused on making it happen, which is super nice. So you get a lot to work with basically, and a lot of good energy to perform with. We've designed this spheric show. So we have a big sphere that is hanging on the stage, in the center stage. We have it in different sizes. It's designed by Bjarke Ingles, which is a Danish architect firm called Big. And then we got it produced by Licht-produktiv in Spain. It's an inflatable, so it's a big balloon in theory that is made in a silver material. And then it inflates and stays inflated. Because the whole trickiness of touring with this band is we have so many different shows in so many different parts of the world, and most of the time it's one-offs, so we have to fly. There's not enough time in between the shows to ship, so we really need all of our equipment to be light and flyable, and all of our stage props we can't rent locally because they're specially designed. So Bjarke Ingles Group, they managed to make this nice design with a big sphere that always inflates, and then it just keeps inflated and we can hang it basically anywhere, outside, indoor. Then on the front it has a massive, basically a screen, like a projection screen where we project on it. So it really like acts well with a screen behind, and then we do a whole projection area on the front. We're working a lot with curves, and our whole idea is to make it smooth and round and build that that area and that sense of being in the orbit basically. All of our light designs are based on curves. We used to do a big curved screen that would be bended as well. And in front of the guys, they have 3 stations where they're mainly at with all their gear. And in front of them, we do these silver balloons as well, which is like a round shaped U, basically to cover them like a UFO. So our whole design idea about this for now is to bring this spheric world vibes into the stage and the clubs.
I'm Jannik Kenneth from Denmark. I'm the lighting designer for WhoMadeWho, doing this show here in it's called the Tempodrom, I guess. Yeah. So we're here, and I'm in charge of the lights. Every show is a new show with WhoMadeWho, so we go to a location and then we look at the location. Of course, we bring our set with the spear and stuff like that, but we also look at the room. And here we have this beautiful, beautiful building. And actually, the venue from the start had this circle truss, so it was obvious to use that because it works well with the spear. And then when I worked on the design for the stage, I copied the circle truss to use on the sides on the stage to do this, these side half circles around the spear. We have rope spider in the ring, and as backlights floor washes, we have SGM Q7s. We got Zeniths up here as the floodlights, and we got some CLF Orion. So that's the lights we're using. We got this massive centerpiece, which is the spear, which is 5.5 meters in diameter. So that's the great centerpiece. And also we do projections on it, which is actually quite an interesting thing to make work because all my lights interfere with the projection. So we really need to try to balance that. Of course, we also got this 16:5 screen behind the spear to do the depth. So to see the spear, we need to have a background. So that's the main thing. To feel the size of it, we need to have a background with lights. So here we have of course the screen, and we have all these lights doing backlights for the band, and also again to see the silhouette of the spear. And then we do the side lights out here where we have the circular motion as well to enhance that sphere, that center planet sun kind of feel.
Our light design is formed around some zenith strobes and zenith washes. So those ones we use to build like a ground layer of color, ground layer of movement. And then we top it up with a lot of asters on the side, which is a very good lamp for like universal use in this way. It's easy to travel with. All of our production comes from Denmark this time, so we trucked it down. It's a good lamp, it has a good output and works well with the screen, and for the colors it's very easy to adjust to the screen. Then we have a robo follow spot, and then we have some spots on the floor, which is super sharpy. For the last 2 years, when we first got the initial idea of doing this live show, we started looking into like different designers for different visual, different ways to like approach it basically. And then we started off with the flora&fauna, which is German designers, and they made these like very nice visual designs. And then we worked together with the big architects and Jakob Lange to do the sphere. So basically we made those like synergy together, and then we moved from there into like different kind of visuals. So it would be like a storytelling throughout the entire set. We don't like the elements and the techno-y, clubbish that you see in most clubs, where it's like, you know, squares that are just flashing and these things. So we try to do more like real footage. We try to do more flowing images, which creates basically a moving backdrop for the band. And then we worked a lot with the silhouette. So they stand like in the silhouette of the screen with not that much light, but like still enough to feel that there's like a connection between these two things. And then now recently they just released a new album, and that one we made a whole visual album by Thomas Kuhn. And Thomas Kuhn then designed the first part of the visuals for this set. And then from there we also worked with Dark Matters, which is a Danish firm. They do also visual designs and touch-ups. But it's always like an ongoing journey. We try to bring new visuals every time. We try to innovate the light every time, do a different screen design, different stage design. We're really trying to prioritize the live shows and do like less and bigger, but also more interesting for people to see.
Music is really part of our DNA at flora&faunavisions. Since the beginning, it was part of our founders' DNA and then really came into what we do every day. So they are one of the pillars of our creative deliveries, and I really think they're amazing creative projects to work on, and very unique in the sense that to do stage projects and to do musical projects, you come together with a lot of different creative minds, whether that's the musical artists themselves, but also costume people and set designers and light designers, and you get into really interesting conversations with everyone's vision and how we bring this together with our visual practice. So those are projects that we love doing. We really love getting into the vision of musicians and bring those shows to life visually. So we approached this show specifically from the feeling that you would feel as a person going to a WhoMadeWho show. So what do you see visually? What do you feel in your body? What is happening in your mind? And this is where our visuals started really taking place. We go from a sunrise to a sunset for this warm glow festival feel that we have when we listen to WhoMadeWho, and in between this, really bringing together what can be really dreamlike, sometimes very trippy, nervous system traveling organisms. WhoMadeWho management got in touch back in November 22 now, so that we would meet the band and talk about designing their new live tour. And everything happened quite fast after that. We had a chemistry check with Thomas Barfod and really starting ideating. I think it was really interesting because they have a clear visual vision as well as their amazing sound and creativity behind their music. They are very visual artists, and so we really built up on that vision and what they already liked visually to create a story. And I think that's what we try to do here. We try to take it from a very narrative and storytelling point of view, which is what I think is also part of our practice at flora&faunavisions. Very organic materials as well that would really translate that feeling and that visual feeling that you get at one of those shows. And that was a visual approach that we took cohesively with the entire show in mind. So at the beginning, we also started concepting the set, looking at this potential big bubble, and we were very inspired by the band here because they had already worked on inflatables. So together we developed this idea of the bubble floating mid-air, also very inspired by this idea of the sun, of this glow coming out of stage. And we looked at materials to break the boundaries of what this set and stage is and go beyond the physical limits of the space itself. So looking at like mirrored material, augmenting the space with some lighting ideas, etc. And we developed those ideas in cohesion with our visuals. And once we had this cohesive vision, stages and media, then Big joined to take over the set design. And I think they did a really amazing work to bring it together and bring it home and do a show that is also scalable, working with all of those inflatables, and that fits really well with our visuals and this general vision that we had for the show. We didn't provide what we call a VJ library. We actually provided content for the entire set. It really allowed us to explore other ways of developing content for this kind of shows, almost on a time code.
Hi, I'm Leah Lavinia, and this is...
Hi, I'm Thomas.
We created the album film for WhoMadeWho. And today we're going to see some of the visuals on the screen as the band is playing.
Absolutely, it's the first time where we see it on a 60-meter screen.
It's incredible to be here, and the set is going to be amazing, and we can't wait to see this place filled with people.
Since the album is so cinematic and has so many different kind of moods and phases, we really thought of like a story about life, about everyday life, but about the little niche and the little hidden moments that usually aren't really shown, so to create something very natural and very human.
We wanted to create a sense of community and togetherness and like catch honest moments between like a young group of people from Berlin, and WhoMadeWho was very open to collaborate in that kind of way to like the natural emotions that young people have, and the music, just like having listening sessions in the studio and listening to all of the tracks inspired, what Thomas said, like the cinematic mood of these songs right away. So that's how we came to the creation. We had an amazing team, and thanks to them we created parts of what we can see here.
The focus was really on like having something human, something people-based in contrast to kind of color and texture, and even more like people who are actually kind of living their actual life, that we didn't want it to feel too staged or too kind of artificial. So it's all about really capturing genuine human emotions and having fun while doing it.
Our PA, we try to spec as much as we can to be a quarter PA. Every live show we do where it's our own production that we bring, we mainly bring that because our sound tech works really well with it, and our sound is, it removes the boominess of the sound and is actually able to fill up a big hall that like Tempodrom Arena is, without it being like sloppy and too heavy in the boomy. We really found the nice, like the high ends are really like not too harsh and not too like trashy, but it forms our sound really well. So we're very happy with it, and the size is good as well. It's a small PA.
I think it was really fun and an interesting creative process to work with WhoMadeWho, because the three of them are really involved into the visual designs of their show. It felt like a collaboration.
The magic is they really put a lot of trust in you, and in that way you get to work with what you want. So if I'm suggesting something, you never hit a wall where like you're told no, or like it's out of budget, or like they're always interested to hear ideas, which makes it possible to do these like special one-off shows, because otherwise we would end up with the same production over and over, and for us that's not what we want. So they have a lot of creative freedom and a lot of drive. They're focused on these things and they take it seriously. It's a lot of rehearsal, a lot of planning going into it. I think we spent a good half a year on producing this show. It's a long process, but it's very fun and nice to be a part of.